Are you one of those people that believe that caring for one's mental health only applies to those with a diagnosed mental health condition? Then this video is for you. Hi guys, my name is Omotola aka Omoti, and this is your lifestyle podcast. I am a psychiatrist and I have a heart, I have a passion to ensure that people lead a wholesome lifestyle. And how can we achieve this? It's definitely by living excellent lifestyles in terms of our physical health, our mental health, and every other aspect of our lives. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with us 7 tips on how to truly care for our mental health. You come with me, guys. Over the past decade, there's been a lot of awareness about mental health. I've heard a lot of people say, make sure you take care of your mental health. My mental health is very important to me. But what does that really mean? What does it mean to care for our mental health in our day-to-day activities, in our day-to-day lives? Number 1 tip is keeping a physically active lifestyle. What did I say? Keeping a physically active lifestyle. Now, many people might begin to wonder that how is being physically active related to our mental health? What we know is that there are certain chemicals, there are happy hormones released in our brains when we begin to do physical activities. I want you to think back on the time that you probably ran a race or rode a bike or even went swimming. How did you feel afterwards? Aside the body aches and pains in the initial phase, how did you feel? Or when you went to the gym, you felt happy, you felt fulfilled, you felt as though you had achieved something. So all of those feelings, when we continually feed our brains with those feelings, it tends to release more happy chemicals in our brains, and our mental health is definitely better off for it. Now you see why you need to be physically active. Things like swimming, riding a bike, taking a walk for up to 30 minutes, running if that's your bread and butter, or sometimes even engaging in activities like yoga, stretches, anything that keeps you moving. Don't forget, keep moving. Number 2 tip that I'll be sharing with us today is eating a healthy and balanced diet. I hear someone say, but all those things also help my physical health. Yes, your physical health is related to your mental health. So obviously, if you eat well, it helps your physical health. But beyond that, there are certain chemicals in food that help our mental health. There are certain chemicals that are released in the brain when we eat the right food. Fruits, vegetables, and a balanced diet of carbohydrates, protein, and all the other classes of food that we already know. I can see somebody rolling their eyes and saying, oh, I'm not really a fan of vegetables. But the truth is that there are very nice and unique ways that we can incorporate vegetables into our daily diet. I'll be sharing a video link with us on how to do this shortly. Okay, so tip number 2 gone. Let's go to tip number 3. I can't wait to share. Tip number 3, we need to connect with people. Community is so important. There's a popular Yoruba adage that says that one tree does not form a forest. What that simply means is that we cannot live in isolation and expect to lead a wholesome life. We cannot expect that everything will go on well with our mental health if we're isolating ourselves. I understand that some people are not people persons, some people are introverts, they'd rather be on their own. But the truth is that we need to connect with people. We need people to share our burdens with, our dreams, our aspirations, things that we've gone through. Recently, I had a rough patch, and because I had the gift of people around me, trusted people, emphasis on that, trusted, I was able to go through that rough patch much easier. So imagine if I had to think about those things, I'd have thought about it, ruminated on those things, catastrophized it, made a mountain out of a mole just because I was not able to connect with other people. Another advantage of connecting with people is that sometimes people would have gone through exactly what we've gone through. So if we share that problem, it's definitely lighter. So guys, think about who you can connect with. Someone trustworthy, someone that you can share your burdens with and feel lighter. Not someone that would talk down on you or say derogatory things about you. That's a food for thought, even for me. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 has to be practicing self-affirming words daily. It is very important. What do you say to yourself? How do you see yourself? What sort of words do you say to yourself? One of the things that I do, I have a confession. I write it down. I say the things that I believe about myself, what God says about me. I write them down and recite them daily. Of course, sometimes they are not believable. Sometimes they feel like this is not the reality. But the more I say those things, the more I believe those things about myself, and the more my mental health stays stable. It is very important. You might be wondering, how do I develop one? If you've got any positive thought, even if it's nothing so big, nothing so significant, write it down. I am beautiful. I am handsome. I am favored. Things like that. You can write them down and speak them on your life every day. Your mental health will be better off for it. I can't believe we're on tip number 5. Wow, this has been a good journey so far. Remember the first 4 tips I shared. Number 1 is to be physically active. Number 2 is to eat a healthy and balanced diet. Number 3 tip is to connect with people, trustworthy people around us. And number 4 tip is what? Fill in the gap. Number 5 tip, guys, this is very important. Set realistic goals. I know that we are in that era of we set goals for ourselves, we want to achieve, but the truth is that if we do not set realistic goals for ourselves in terms of our circumstances and our current situations, we are in for some trouble when it comes to our mental health. I'm going to give an example. Before now, I read books, but I've never really set a goal to say I want to read so number of books in 1 year. And because of my schedule and my family life, private life and all that, I don't have so much time to say I want to read a lot of books. So beginning of this year, I decided I was going to read 8 books and I'm on book number 4. This is June. I'm just on point. Imagine if I set a goal to read 60 books this year. I'll be putting unnecessary pressure on myself and I'll feel so overwhelmed and it can have a negative impact on my mental health. So why stress? I did put 8 books on the list and I'm working towards that actively. So if peradventure I read say 6 books, I don't feel as awful as if I read 6 out of 60 books. That would have been a catastrophe. So guys, it doesn't have to be in terms of books. It can be any other aspect. Oh, by this time I want to have done blah, 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 blah. But when we put that unnecessary pressure on ourselves, it impacts on our mental health. We lose sleep over it, and that's not good. Which brings me to tip number 6. We are flying so fast. Tip number 6 is get adequate rest and sleep. Please sleep. It is very important. I've heard a lot of motivational speakers say if you're sleeping for more than 4 hours, you are wrong. You're not wrong. I'm telling you categorically that you are not wrong and you're not wasting your life. An adult should be sleeping for 6 to 8 hours every single day. I'm going to say it again. An adult should be sleeping for 6 to 8 hours every single day. So please don't believe that lie that you're wasting a third of your life if you sleep for 8 hours. For people like me, I need to sleep well to function well. And that's how most people are. God created sleep, so please sleep. When we sleep, we reset our brains, we get fresh ideas, we feel relaxed. But when we don't sleep, we're always on the edge, we fight people, we feel irritable. So sleep is very important. In another video, I'll be sharing with us how to optimize our sleep, especially for people that have sleep problems. So please look out for that video. It's going to be really helpful. Tip number 6. This tip is very important to me and I shared a video about it. Can you guess? Yes, it's the video about digital detoxification. On that video, there was a comment that someone shared that if we were detoxifying, how would we have seen this video? The truth is that we are in a digital age and we cannot deny that. We get a lot of knowledge from YouTube and other digital platforms, but we can time these things just like the way you have time for work. You can have time that you spend on all of these social media platforms. It can be overwhelming, it can be stressful. Even if we feel that we are enjoying ourselves, at the end of the day, it can be very stressful. It because the lights that emit from the phone, the laptop, the iPad, they can even cause headache. It has a negative impact on one's mental health if it is excessive. So let's learn to do everything in moderation. So let's reduce our screen time. My last tip that I'll be sharing with us today, I feel so happy about all these tips that have been shared so far. It's very important to me. In fact, I feel like this is the most important of all the tips. Why? Because it has a way of making you happy, making other people happy, and making God happy as well. Can you guess this tip? It is staying grateful, being grateful. Be grateful for every single thing that you have. Be grateful for the things that you don't have. Be grateful for the air that you breathe in. Be grateful for the food that you eat, no matter how little. Be grateful for the clothes that you wear. Be grateful for your family. Be grateful for life. Gratitude has a way of sparking up positive emotions in us, and that definitely helps with our mental health. So if we are always grumpy, always complaining, certainly it's difficult to be happy. There is a gratitude journal called Presently on Google app that I use. It's a very simple journal, and on that journal I write things that I'm grateful for each day. Recently, I had a setback on a day and I felt really overwhelmed. I felt terrible. I felt unhappy. And I spoke with my mentor, who is also my sister, and she said, look back on all the things that you journaled and joy will come to your heart. And look back on your day. I'm sure you can identify more than 3 things that went well. And truly, ladies and gentlemen, when I looked back on my day, I was able to find so many reasons to be grateful, so many reasons to be grateful. If someone does something, even if it's little, show gratitude. It sparks up positivity. It sparks up hope. It sparks up beautiful feelings. And I'm sure you'll be grateful to yourself if you practice gratitude. We've spoken about 7 different tips to optimize our mental health today. Which ones are you going to be applying? If I were you, I would apply every single one. Because in this life, we need to lead wholesome lifestyle. This life is too short, so every single moment counts. Guys, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, share with someone that really needs to hear this. Even if it's one thing that you learned, share with somebody else, and don't forget to subscribe. See you later, guys. Bye.